Hey, you guys, hey, everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I'm so sorry I'm late, but you guys, this video, this live, wild. Okay, imagine finding out while filming a TV show. Sorry for the lights. They have a mind of their own. I do apologize. They'll stop in a minute. But imagine finding out while filming a reality TV show at the exact same time as the entire world that your husband has a plan for you to marry someone else, not just anybody, right? Your husband has a plan that you will marry someone from out of the country, someone of the same sex. Also, he can have a third wife. Let that sink in for a while, right? You're sitting there casually as they are right here on this couch, and you are shooting your last little interview for the show as it wraps up for the season. And as you're sitting there, your husband tells production, the whole world, that the third wife will be brought in and you will marry her. Not him, but you. That's exactly what happened to Danielle Merrifield. If you have not watched the latest episode of Seeking Sister Wife, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about a bomb that Garrick dropped on the most recent episode. Also, if you haven't watched it, we will be watching it tonight live over on my TikTok channel. So at 8 p.m. Central Time tonight, we're going to go live and we're going to watch the most recent episode of Seeking Sister Wife. It is also the finale, so it is the last episode. So yeah, that's what we're going to be breaking down in this live. Garrett Merrifield's announcement, and he dropped it like it was nothing. It literally, he delivered this announcement so casually, as if they all knew, as if it was a discussion that had been had, and it was it was something that was agreed upon. But by Danielle's reaction, you could, and we're going to watch it. I'm going to show you guys the clip, so we are going to watch it. But by her reaction, you could tell she had no idea. She literally found out in the moment. No heads up, no discussion, no conversation at home, nothing. And the gag is he acted like this is just like the natural next step of their journey. If this is what God wants, this is what will happen. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you've watched the Merrifields for any amount of time, you already know. I mean, listen, in my opinion, and this is my opinion strictly based off what I've watched, Garrick has like brainwashed, straight up brainwashed, brainwashed Danielle into this polygamous lifestyle. She says she's all about it. She says she wants the plural marriage. I think he has her convinced that it's what she wants, but her body language has told a completely different story over the years, in my opinion. When she watches her husband with the other women, her body language kind of tells the tale, right? Now, to take it back a little bit, her and Garrick were married for I think 15 years or something. They've been together for a while. They have two older boys, and she divorced him a couple years ago. She has helped bring in multiple women into this marriage, women that Garrick has slept with, pursued, financially supported, all failures of relationships, but she has helped facilitate that for her husband, right? And then finally, Lorena comes along. She becomes wife number two. She even has a baby with Garrick. And then just days or weeks after marrying Lorena, Garrick announces that they're now looking for a third wife, but not for him to marry, but for Danielle to marry. So it will all be legal. Now, in regards to their family dynamic, she will be Garrick's wife, but legally she will be Danielle's, right? So here's the explanation that Garrick gives for why Danielle will have to marry this woman. Doesn't she look miserable though? So Garrick's explanation is if they find another woman and she's from outside the US, the only way to bring her over is on a K-1 visa, and that requires marriage. But since Garrick is married to Lorena, who doesn't have her citizenship yet, Garrick and Lorena cannot divorce yet. So Garrick can't marry anybody else. So instead of being like, you know what, we'll wait. We'll wait. Me and Lorena's marriage is still new. She's pregnant, so we're not going to seek another wife right now. I'm going to enjoy my marriage with Lorena. I'm going to enjoy her being pregnant. No, they're on to the next. They're still on dating apps. I mean, literally, come to find out, Garrick never got off the dating apps, and like when him and Lorena got married, he was still on dating apps. He was already looking for a third. And he just married Lorena, right? But instead of saying we'll wait, Garrick says Danielle will marry the next wife. Like he's like ordering lunch. Like, not a big deal. I'll have a ham sandwich. Danielle marries the next wife. And keep in mind, this is before, the latest events have taken place, like Garrick's arrest and, the possibility that him and Lorena have split up. This all happened before that. Yeah, so this was his plan. This was Garrick's plan to have Danielle marry someone else. He was proudly telling the world, while Danielle, her face is telling us that she had no idea about this. This was not something that he discussed. This was not something she knew about. So we're gonna watch the clip, and you guys tell me what you think.
Definitely still.
All right, let me shrink it down a little bit. All right, here is the clip. Oh, and I did cut out a chunk because in between a part of this, Lorena, she's like, I'm not comfortable with us seeking a third wife right now. Like, it's so new in our marriage. And like, I feel like I don't even have a lot of time with you. I'm not comfortable. And Garrett literally told her, well, too bad. He's like, I understand your feelings, but like, this is what God wants for us. So if we find another wife, we're going to take on another wife. Like, sorry. But anyways, here's where he drops the bomb that Danielle will marry the next wife.
We're definitely still seeking. It's a calling on our family, so we're definitely looking for the third wife, and we're going to continue to pursue that. If God had us to meet another woman from another country, truly our best option would be Danielle would have to marry her to have her come here, just because
She's like,
we don't know how long it would take before me and Lorena could get divorced where I could marry another woman.
She's like, what?
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, she can get a green.
She's like, I wasn't aware of it. What? If my husband made plans for me to marry someone, or like that's what he thought was going to be in our future, the next wife you're marrying, and did not tell me, but talked about it on national television and told the world that was going to be our plan, that's how we were going to do things. First off, that's not how things go where in our marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like my husband has to run things by me, I have to run things by him. Clearly that's not the way it is in their relationship. Let's back it up a little bit.
Yeah, she can get a green card, but then it takes like 5 to 10 years to actually her to become a citizen. Yeah. So.
Danielle, how do you feel about that?
I feel like it's more of a discussion I feel like we need to have,
For
because
sure.
I thought it was going to be a couple years for her like adjustment of status and they could divorce. And then I didn't realize like it would take so long, and that would be, in the next year, if we're adding someone, that it would be on me to marry them from another country, somebody. So. All right, just need a minute.
He always gets this like really like shocked, confused look on his face. He's always like, and I take screenshots every time. I have so many screenshots of Garrett looking confused.
Married life has struggles, especially when you do it God's way.
Oh, that's not
it's
God's
a lot
way.
to go through, but it's expected.
Lorena's not biting anymore either. She's like, God's way, my ass. Like God's way, sure. Sure, pal. Where's my thing at? Let me bring this back up. We'll take this away. No, we're not going to take that away. Can we bring this back up? Yep, that's how Danielle's feeling after finding that out. She's like, what in the absolute hell is going on here? I'm finding out through no conversation between me and my husband in our room. like, hey, this is the way things may have to go. Are you okay with that? No, she's finding out, as he's telling the rest of the world. And in my opinion, like I was saying earlier, I feel like that really tells us a lot about like their household and their dynamic, right? That Garrick makes the decisions. That's the way that I feel. Like us seeing that alone makes me feel like Garrick makes the decisions, period. He didn't even feel the need to like talk to her about this. And I'm gonna get into the it being in the Bible. I'm gonna get into that. But yeah, he talks about like these family choices when really I feel like they're his choices and everyone else just has to adjust. I feel like that's kind of been Danielle's life this whole time. Um, he wants to do polygamy. Maybe she even thought, like, yeah, that could be cool. But you see the hurt on her, you see the hurt in her face all the time. So I don't really feel like it's something that she really enjoys or that she loves. And my thing too is like, what if Danielle doesn't believe in marrying another woman? What if it goes against her own values, her beliefs, her comfort? But it doesn't really seem to matter to Garrick. I mean, they talk about, you know, this is what God wants us to do. But I'm like, Garrick, do you feel like God would have your wife, who's no longer legally your wife, marry another woman so you can have a third wife? That's what you think? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And to talk about the polygamy being in the Bible, that's his argument is so it must be okay. They love to bring that up, but a lot of things happen in the Bible. People murdered in the Bible, people lied, people stole, people betrayed, they did absolute atrocities, right? Just because something is written about in the Bible does not mean God approved of it or intended for us to live that way. My opinion. Context exists, culture exists, sin exists. The Bible records history. It records a time in history. Just like right now, like if somebody was recording everything that was happening in, this one person's life, it would record, a lot of sin happening probably. But it wouldn't mean that that will be okay. It doesn't, because something is in the Bible, it doesn't automatically, God doesn't automatically endorse what's in the Bible just because it's in the Bible, right? So in my opinion, using the Bible as like a blanket justification for this lifestyle doesn't hold up because I'm like, what about all the, but Jesus didn't send like, Jesus sat with the sinners to try to save them. So I'm not cherry picking the Bible. I'm just saying, just because something is in the Bible doesn't mean that God approved of it or that was his intent for us to carry on and live that way. And this is just my opinion. And I'm like, listen, if you think polygamy is okay, that's fine. But that's not the one thing that I'm talking about in this video. I'm talking about the way they do it. So God would have him divorce his first wife, who he has children with, to legally marry another wife, even if it was okay, um, even if it was what God intended. Okay, you marry a first wife, she becomes your legal wife, you have children by her. Do you then divorce her to bring in another wife? I don't know. I don't know. It's nothing that I believe, and like I said, there's so many things in the Bible that happen but God condemns. He does not, it does not make it okay. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I don't believe in it. I mean right now he's literally been arrested for DV and obstruction of or it's not obstruction. What was the charge? Or maybe it is obstruction. Let me see what it is again. I think it is obstruction, but I can't remember the way it was framed. Yep, get off of there. Obstructing telephone service. That's what it is. He was arrested for obstructing telephone service and DV. Okay, so what this video is about is not, in my opinion, polygamy is wrong. That is that is their justification, is because it's in the Bible. I'm saying just because something's in the Bible doesn't make it okay. It doesn't mean that that's how God intended us to live. But I also have this huge issue. This man literally, obviously, the way he runs things is I make the plans, I decide how things are going to go, and then my wife they do these things. They're submissive to me. They and he feels like he don't even have to have a conversation with them. He feels like you don't even have to have a conversation before putting it out to the public, before telling the whole world, my wife Danielle, my wife Danielle is going to marry our next wife. He feels like he didn't even owe her to talk to her about it. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Somebody said they had court today. Or yesterday. Um, I don't see anything. Has anybody heard anything about them having court yesterday? I don't see anything. But I'll look for it. I'll see if I can if I can find anything. But the fact that she knew nothing, whoo, bombshell that she was not even aware of about his older boys. I hope never follow in their daddy's footsteps. Well, the two boys did have like their little confessional outside one day where they were talking about it, and one of the boys is like, I don't think you need two wives. I think one is enough. And the other brother was like, what did he say? Something along the lines like, well, according to your cell phone usage or according to your text messages, I don't really think you believe that way or something like that. Basically, he was implying that his brother may talk to multiple girls through text messages. I hope not. I hope not. You know what I'm saying? And okay, so to bring back as well the argument about it being in the Bible. Okay, so when the Bible talks about polygamy or murder, slavery, things like that, it's using descriptions. It's mentioned in it. It doesn't mean that God approved of it, right? Because, like I said, the Bible describes murder, slavery, polygamy, concubines, but description is an endorsement of. It's not saying God has put His stamp of approval on these things. And every major polygamous story in scriptures comes with conflict, favoritism, jealousy, family collapse. Somebody brought up Solomon earlier. So you have Abraham, Sarah, uh, Jacob, Leah, Rachel, David's son, Solomon. Those patterns show consequences, not blessings. So, in my opinion, when you do sin or you go against God's word or what His intent for your family is, rather than receiving blessings, you receive consequences. So, I think when you go back and you read the scriptures of those men that live that sort of lifestyle, and then you see the consequences of them living that way, it can be, you could probably take that as, oh, well, maybe that's why. Maybe there's a reason why they were not receiving blessings and they were receiving consequences. Um, and I looked up these scriptures too. So, God's original design in Genesis was, you could take it as monogamy. You could say it could mean monogamy because it says in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, it says, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined by his wife, which is not plural, it is singular. And the two, man and wife, shall become one flesh. So it doesn't say a man shall leave his father and mother to be joined by his wives, and the 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, shall become one flesh. It says, join his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Also, Matthew chapter 19, verse 4 through 6, when explaining God's intention for marriage, he says, from the beginning, it was not so. Jesus uses monogamy as a normative model. Every commandment in the New Testament assumes and requires monogamy. When Paul explains marriage, it's always husband and wife, not husband and wives. Each man his own wife, and each woman her own husband. As 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 2. The qualifications for spiritual leaders require the husband of one wife. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. Titus chapter 1, verse 6. This isn't just for leaders. It sets the ideal standard for Christian households. Polygamy is repeatedly restricted or discouraged under the law. Kings are explicitly commanded not to have multiple wives. Deuteronomy 17:17. Every polygamous king who ignored this saw destruction follow. David Solomon. If God thought polygamy was fine, he wouldn't have forbidden it for the leaders. Silence from Jesus doesn't equal endorsement. Jesus also never explicitly condemned slavery, child marriage, stoning for adultery. But Christians today still call those practices wrong because the overall, morally, overall, the scriptures oppose them. Jesus taught a higher rational ethic, love, equality, mutuality, protection of the vulnerable. That's just my opinion. Polygamy conflicts with one flesh, mutual, self-giving model of marriage like Jesus taught. So just because something doesn't talk about it or explicitly say this should not be done, I think morally you don't even, you know what I'm saying? It's like we don't have to like sit there and say this should not be done because morally it's not okay. We can use kind of like our common sense. That's just my opinion. So he just wants to sleep with multiple women. Oh my goodness. I know. And that's what I can't even. So true. And I thought about that too. Like whenever I was watching a clip the other day, because since all of this has happened, I've been doing a little bit more research, watching more clips from the show. And I was watching a clip from when they brought Roberta over, or they met up with Roberta in Brazil. And Garrick and Roberta were supposed to sleep in a room by themselves, but Roberta felt guilty and she had Danielle sleep in the room with them, right? Well, the next morning, Danielle gets up to go like get her bags from her room and they have a quickie. And Danielle did not know about it. Roberta did end up telling her. And that was one thing that crossed my mind. I'm like, you are having sex outside of marriage. You're not legally married to her yet. He had sex with probably, I don't know for sure, but we know Roberta, we know Natalia. I don't know about Leah. I think that was her name, the other girl that he dated. But we know, and he had sex with Lorena before they married. So even if, let's just say polygamy is okay, I don't know how you get around legally you cannot marry two people in the States. And I don't know if it's legal anywhere. I don't think so. But the Bible also tells you are to obey the laws of the land. The laws of our land is you can only have one spouse. So to have sex outside of marriage, it goes against the Bible because the Bible tells you to obey the laws of the land, and that's the laws of the land. So I don't really know how it would be possible. You know what I'm saying? If it was okay, biblically speaking, then telling you to not have sex outside of marriage it would be impossible to obey that. So I think he's cherry picking the Bible. That's who I really think is cherry picking the Bible. I think he's cherry picking the Bible when he's taking things that just because they exist, he thinks I don't even think he really thinks that. I think he is claiming to believe that way because it benefits his desires, his fleshly, sinful desires. That is my opinion. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. But yeah, shocker. Danielle had no idea. And we don't know where they stand right now. We don't know if, they're split up. I don't know if Garrick and Lorena are split up because what we do know is in the arrest affidavit, it said that Lorena said she did not want Garrick arrested. Her statement was she did not want Garrick arrested. She just wanted to be able to call her family and call 911, and they obviously went ahead and arrested him because it was a DV charge or whatever. So, if they're still together, if they're not still together, whatever, Garrick's plan moving forward is when a third wife is brought into the family, if he cannot marry her, he wants Danielle to. So wild. Mind blown. I'd be so mad if I was Danielle because not knowing about it, and you're going to tell production and everybody else, and I'm just sitting here like, did he not think that Danielle would be like, what? Did he just think she would sit there and be like, and not be like, whoa, I knew nothing about this. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he did because he runs things there. Maybe he thought she wouldn't say anything. I'm not sure. But this is wild. The whole thing is wild to me. I'm shocked. We're gonna watch it tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time over on my TikTok page. So you guys make sure you subscribe to me over there or follow me over there and join me tonight. It is going to be, of course, because he's an idiot. True story. Make sure you follow me over on TikTok. Make sure you are subscribed to me here as well. Also, we watched season 12 of Vanderpump Rules this morning on TikTok. It is the first season, first episode with the completely new cast. I'm gonna do a recap and my thoughts. I'm gonna record that video, have it up hopefully sometime today, and I'll give you guys a recap of the first episode if you didn't see it. Yeah, it was a dud, but I'll be recording that to get that up soon. But you guys leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about Danielle or Garrick springing this news on her as they're filming for the show? Her having no idea. This man is really, he's really just, I don't even know. He's really disturbed. He's disturbed. We're going to continue to keep up with what's going on with Garrick and Danielle, though. Someone said that he had court yesterday. I will do my best to try to figure out what happened. And if I can find out what happened, we'll jump back on here and do a live, and I'll give you guys an update. Or as soon as I do find out what happened, I'll update you guys. But make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. And come back and hype your girl up if you think about it. You are allowed like 3 hypes a day, a week. I don't know. If you guys don't mind, if you enjoy my content, come give me a hype. She's going to have her own Brazilian wife soon. I know, right? This has to be immigration fraud. I don't know how it wouldn't be, honestly. I really don't. They've admitted these things on the show, which, a lot of judges do not allow clips from a reality TV show. But still, I would be so scared to admit that I was committing some sort of fraud on TV. Wow. But yeah, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hit that thumbs up button. Follow me on TikTok. We'll be live at 8 p.m. Central Time. Bye, guys.